So what are we doing today? We're doing wheelbarrowing. Actually, we're making the bed. And when I mean making the bed, well, not the stuff you sleep in, but the stuff your seeds sleep in and your plants grow in. So the other day, I raised the beds. I made them 30 inches with an 18-inch furrow. Don't get out the measuring tape because I'm sure it's not exact. And then I filled all the way around with that free mulch I got from the county. So now what I'm doing is I'm putting in my wood ash, and that's a culmination of a lot of tree cutting and everything. So when you look what I have into this, well, I guess I'm a dirt poor farmer. The soil came from my pond, which I'm hoping there's not a lot of weed seeds in it other than what's probably blown in by having the dirt exposed. And the mulch I got again from the county for free. And then the wood ash I got from burning the trees that I have to cut down off the fence line. So far, other than just hard work, a shovel, a rake, and a wheelbarrow, I have beds ready for the garden. So I want to take you over to the one bed that I haven't put the wood ash on yet, and then show you the consistency of what the soil I really have, which is straight clay. You can make a pot out of it. The bed on the right is a darker black, and the dirt on the left is, although a dark brown, it's the row that I haven't put the wood ash on. And so just to show you what kind of clay I'm dealing with, that's the soil I have. So I have to put some amendment on it. Now stuff will grow in this stuff straight away because I've done it, but it's not the ideal of circumstance. So I wanted to work my soil a little bit, and this is all done by hand. A shovel, a rake, and a wheelbarrow. That's it. Well, you know, minus the fact that I spent a good 2 weeks moving the pile of dirt into this position from the pond, which was like a mountain of dirt, and that I used my tractor for. But you know, not everybody has you know, a pond dirt left over. So this is what I'm up to. These beds aren't really that long. I'd say they're, oh, let's see, let's pace it off a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They're about 16. Each, I have 4 rows of 16, and then probably a row of 10 there. And I wanted to do something with this land, and I parked it on purpose underneath shade because during the summer things just get burnt out here. I don't care if you need full sunlight. I haven't seen that. I had some plants in full sunlight and all they did was burn last year. So I'm gonna do this technique. I use this in Arizona where the sun will generally burn most plants out. So I know that my vines like to have a little relief in the afternoon from all that bright sun. So the next step after this will be just putting the seeds in the soil, and it's time. And I will be transplanting some of the seeds that I started in the troughs, thinking that, well, it might still freeze, but I'm going to take my chances with the seeds. Well, my land naturally slopes down toward that tree line because there's a creek right in that tree line. So I make my rows the way along with which the water runs. So otherwise you're kind of making kind of speed bumps for the water. So better to go with the flow in this case. Well, it's been a few days since I left with the description of my bed making process, and as you can tell, I've fenced off the perimeter of my garden because I have him, and as you know, I have some very young chickens, or chicks, and geese. So in addition to this pipe fencing that I have that I need to paint, in addition to everything else, I'm going to put some cow panels, that welded wire all the way around the perimeter, because I know those birds are going to get in here, and I've had that happen before. So they'll pick stuff and then throw it away. So in addition to making the beds, I actually planted them, and as you can see in the middle there, and kind of doing a cheat, I bought some store-bought soil just because it's soft and easy on the hands, and when I make my rows, I plant it, and I can kind of tell where I did plant and where I didn't, because it'll look darker. I don't know if you can see it, but you can kind of see that it looks striped, so I know I planted something there. So I, on the 2 rows to the left, I planted, and that's okra, but on the right, I didn't plant anything, so I'll plant something smaller, so it won't get shaded out by the okra, or will. It doesn't really matter, it's fine. And then this row I left empty because I have some transplants that I'm going to move into there. But all the other rows, I transplanted a little bit. They look a little bad, but they'll come around. And I think the back side I left open too. So I've strategically put my vines on the far end, and so when they grow, they'll be growing right where my horse's feet are. And I haven't had too much trouble with actually a horse, trampling over things. He generally isn't there. He's there right now because I'm here. But anyway, that's my master plan, and he's following me heavily too because it's breakfast time, because it's the following day. It's actually 2 days, because the next day I seeded everything, and then I put up my panels, and I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. It seems difficult to get the camera out every time you have to do something around the farm, but I'm going to paint these panels and put up that wire and finish transplanting my transplants once their secondary leaves get established. And I didn't have any choice with these transplants, which you can hardly probably even see, except for the bigger ones that look kind of limpy. I didn't have a choice because my egg cartons kind of fell apart, and I just thought I'm just going to get it done and kind of baby them and see what happens. If not, I have time to plant more seed, so not a huge loss. But I'm just checking out the different techniques, what works for me and what doesn't. So I guess there's a reason why they have plastic transplant beds. I was just kind of trying to see if I could go on the cheap and make it work, which I'm sure there's a better technique than what I used, and maybe if you were more patient, the egg carton trick would work better, but I don't know, it's not for me. So anyway, that's what we'll be doing for the rest of the week, and I'll try to provide some updates as I go along.